What is going on, everybody? It is your boy coming at you with another video that I have to record again because the first time the audio just got ruined, which was very unfortunate. So we're back at it. So as you can see, we're with Kensei. Kensei is my favorite character in For Honor. Been playing him since launch, and as you can see, I can't show a scoreboard in here because it's training, but I'm reputation 69, as you can see right there. So you gotta trust me on this. We're doing ourselves a Kensei guide. A lot of people in my streams and YouTube still ask me for a bunch of Kensei tips, you know, whether they're new to the game or new to the character. And I haven't really made an updated guide in probably over a year. And, you know, the main reason for that is, you know, Kensei's been the exact same. So not really too many changes to kind of talk about. But finally got some changes in the most recent patch. And also there's a few other things like some punishes that have kind of changed over the course of time that some people might not know about that I figured I would go ahead and discuss with you guys today. I'm going to do my best not to sugarcoat it or do any bullshit like that. It's going to be more of an advanced guide, but I think still if you're a beginner you can still grasp this stuff, and I figured at the time with the new season as well as the game being free on the Epic Store, I think it was a perfect time for us to go ahead and do ourselves a new updated Kensei guide. Alright guys, and before we get in the video, would appreciate if you dropped a like on it, because if you don't, the next time you play For Honor, this will happen. Do you know what that is? That is dying. Do you know what we don't want to happen when playing For Honor? Dying. So, you should probably just leave a like, because then you can do epic gamer plays, such as this. Wow, look at Perry. Very nice. So first off, I will talk about the things that were changed in this patch regarding the Kensei. So the main thing that we're going to be doing first is going to be the side lights. So there's a lot of changes with them. So first off, they are now 500 MS, which is great. They used to be 600, very slow. You didn't want to throw them. The openers now do 15 damage instead of 12. The first soft fainted light right there also does 15 instead of 12. However, the second soft fainted light, as you'll see right here, does 15 when it used to do 16. So a slight little damage nerf on the second one right there, but again, having the 500 MS instead of 600 is very, very big. His top light has been reduced to 18 damage from 20, and somewhat similarly to that, the second heavy chain now does increase damage on the heavy, being 30 instead of 25. So if you get a GB, you will now do 30 damage instead of 25, which is pretty nice, especially if you get someone with just over 1 bar of health. You can probably finally finish them off instead of just being a little upset that they got the most tiniest of a slither of health left. A kind of stealth buff that has gone through with the addition of the faster light attacks is his Pommel Strike. So his Pommel Strike is his initiation right there. And before, you would almost need to do like an input buffer on the light in order to get it through. So you would kind of have to guess that the attack was going to hit when you threw it through and not necessarily wait to see if the attack was confirmed. Now that the attacks are a bit faster, you can actually wait for the full Pommel Strike to hit before you even think about hitting the light attack button, which is really, really awesome to see. So shouts out to Faram for actually finding that. I was unaware of this change until I was made aware of it from his video. So this is pretty awesome. It makes the Pommel Strike a much safer tool to use. However, I still don't think it's super great as an initiation. There's a lot of shit that can dodge it or just avoid it, and it's still relatively slow, the attack itself. But now knowing that you can actually wait and then throw the attack through, it can kind of make or break, you know, you not having to throw a light parry or light attack because you missed and getting light parried and then getting punished, which we definitely don't want. Another freaking shadow nerf that Kensei got is his throw used to blind people and now it doesn't. I never really understood the reason that it would blind people before, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I didn't remember how long the blind would last on the throw, but it's not like it's going to make much of a use from anything, so I'm not too upset about that, to be honest. And then probably the last thing that I've noticed from the new season is that we've got almost like a quicker GB animation that comes through, where GBs are a lot quicker than what they used to be. I think it looks almost like by 100 or 200 MS, like they come through a whole lot quicker in a lot of circumstances. So when you can actually go for something like that feint into GB right there is very quick. So Kensei has a lot of different soft feint options as well as good feinting tools. So you can probably catch some people out with this right here. So if I just went for a soft feinted GB, It might come out a little bit quicker than what people have been originally used to, and it might just be something that they're not expecting. You might be able to get a good punish off of that. So try to take advantage of that, and it can also help out for people if they're trying to dodge out of the way and you try to catch them with a GB so that you can catch them before their full dodge animation is over. Alright, so now we'll go into like some strategies, but like speaking of dodging from that last little segment, you know, the pommel strike is Kensei's initiation tool, but I find that it gets dodged pretty frequently. Whenever you see like this top heavy come through from a Kensei, a lot of people just move. It like institutes movement. So people often try to dodge because they think that the pommel strike's gonna come through, and they don't want it to hit them. Obviously, you don't want that to hit you. But what Kensei can actually do in his top heavy initiations is dodge cancel. So he can dodge to either side, or he can dodge forward, or he can dodge backward as well. So with these, you can do a variety of different things. You know, you can do a swift strike right there. You can do a helm splitter, as you see. But the thing that I like to do a lot is, because movement is generated usually when the top heavy comes through, is just dash forward GB. Then you can get a heavy off now with increased damage, and then you can go into your combo chains a little bit more to get into your unblockable, all that mix-ups and shit. It's really, really nice. So that's something that I use 100% of the time, at least once when I'm in a fight. Like every time in a fight, I'll use it at least once just to see how antsy the opponent is on the sticks if they're trying to be a little dodge happy. I'd say it works generally more often than the pommel strike does in terms of hits, because I don't know, people just be getting dodge happy in this game. So obviously if someone isn't falling for it, then you can go about other means. Kensei's all about adapting and using all the different mix-up tools that you have to try to find out what works best for you and when it comes to a certain fight. So this, however, is like my number one thing that, you know, I would say if you're playing as a Kensei, go ahead and try this. It is really good. Also, on Kensei, we'll look at his dodging Swift Strike, being one of the best dodge attacks in the game, for the simple reason that you can delay the shit out of this attack. So we'll throw a normal Swift Strike, which is just a dodging heavy. So dodge heavy right there. You can see, all right, pretty decent dodge, nice little arc, pretty quick. But as you can see, when I'm dashing, my sword lights up. That's just indicating the superior block timing that the sword has. And that's pretty much the timing to where you can input the heavy and then you'll do a Swift Strike. So I can input it right at the front, or I can wait and delay it at other different timing areas right there. And it can be really, really good, because you could dodge. Maybe your opponent's throwing an attack and you want to dodge and do a Swift Strike, but they feint the attack. So if you threw it right away, they're probably going to feint and parry you. If you wait and then they actually throw the attack through, you'll be able to kind of confirm yourself a nice dodge in there and stuff. Don't only, like, as soon as you see an attack, don't just go for a Swift Strike over and over and over. No one likes a Swift Strike gamer, to be completely honest, and you're going to get parried a lot. I see so many Kenseis, even ones with higher reps, that just literally, they see an attack, Swift Strike. It's just not a good idea to do. Once people have any sort of brain, they're not going to let that go through, and you're going to get parried, and then you're going to have a bad time. So don't only rely on this attack just because it's pretty decent and it's a good dodge attack, but do remember its strengths and the ability to delay it. You know, and like I said, although this is an advanced guide, I'm not really going to be showing off combos. The thing with Kensei is you just kind of make your own combos, right? You got to try to find what works. You know, don't always do the same thing twice. So one time I might dash forward, you know, GB, and then go into an unblockable and do a soft fainted light, right? So that doesn't have to be the same thing. I'm not going to do that over and over and over again. I can do so many things. Top heavy, into soft faint light, into an unblockable just follow through. So, you know, you can start with the top light. You can, you know, don't have to finish with the unblockable at all. You have a ton of different stuff that you can do with the Kensei. You know, you have soft feints. You can feint those soft feints. Like, you have a ton of different options because Kensei's attacks flow so very nicely together, and that was kind of one of the main reasons why I played the character, because everything just felt nice. And you know, feeling good in the hands is definitely a thing that you want when you're finding a main in the game. You want them to feel pretty good, and Kensei just has a lot of different things that you can do in terms of flow that makes him very good, and doesn't really have like any strict combos, because you can mix it up definitely a ton. I feel like most of the vanguards, you know, like specifically like Raider as well as another character, where you're not gonna have really a set combo. You can do shit over and over, and then you know, always be switching it up very slightly to keep your opponent guessing. I'll just make a quick mention on Kensei's superior block. Pretty much the exact same. You can dodge into an attack. The really only thing that you get confirmed damage all the time is going to be the top heavy, where you can dodge forward and get a GB. But on certain instances, if you dodge when a heavy is thrown from the side, you can get a swift strike. My timing's pretty bad on it because I don't really go for it. But as you can see, I kind of clank off there, right there, because the heavy attacks is a bigger windup and it's a, you know, more of a recovery on the move. If it's missed, you can sometimes guarantee yourself a swift strike, but I don't really know the parameters. But if you see right there, I dash forward and I get a free GB on the top, and that's the one that actually confirms damage. So I wouldn't really recommend going for the superior blocks unless it's to the top. Although it does look really cool, it's just not really worth your time to kind of just go for the exact timing. We can very quickly talk about parries. So for parries for a heavy, you can do a top light, which is going to do 18 damage, or you can do a helm splitter, which is now even probably a better option to do because it does 17, which is just slightly less. So you can immediately go into your unblockable after it. So it just looks, you know, pretty much something like this. You parry, dash forward, light, you can do an unblockable. And then for a light attack, it's just going to be a side heavy, so nothing too crazy. I probably can't parry though because I suck. I just got to wait for an attack to come through. So you parry, side heavy, 40 damage. It's been that way on Kensei for a while, still the same. Alright, now we'll talk about the throw and parry punishes amidst all this Jormungandr breathing right here. I apologize. But Kensei's max punish on a throw has been his helm splitter into unblockable. That does 62 damage. Again, probably don't want to throw it because it's unsafe and the opponent gets a free GB on get up. So, although it is the most damage, wouldn't do it. Then there was another punish that we used to do where you could do a side light finisher into a side heavy, which is good. 58 damage right there, still pretty solid, and you can continue a chain. Now the one that you really want to go for is a top light into a top heavy. Now you're going to see that there's a little bit of a delay right there, and I'll show you why. So you can see right here, if I do a top light finisher and then a top heavy, it still works, still the same amount of damage. But the thing is, I'm waiting so that I can start a new chain and then be flowing straight into my unblockable. So you see, I wait, top light, top heavy, into the unblockable immediately. And that is crucial because if you can do that to an opponent who's out of stam, they're going to be like, oh shit, what do I got to do? Is the unblockable going to come through? Are they going to feint? Are they going to GB me? And they have a lot more risk to deal with because they're out of stamina. And if they, you know, try to go for a parry or something, they're going to get punished again, which isn't going to be fun for them. So again, you just throw forward or any direction really. I mean, I say forward is probably the easiest right there. And because mostly, like, sometimes the sides don't usually hit, just dependent on how far away you are from, like, a wall or anything. So I always do forward throw. It's the most simple and easiest way to go about it. And then you just wait, just not even a half a second. Then you top light and then top heavy. And then you can go immediately into your unblockable. Now, the punish is the exact same for a parry, but I'll just go ahead and show you a quick example just so you can see it in action. So here is the parry punish for the Kensei. See, they go right there. I wait, top light, top heavy, and then I can go for something right there. And yeah, that's basically what you get. So it's really good because you can flow immediately into that unblockable chain, which is where Kensei thrives and where he is the strongest. So those punishes are really, really nice. Although they don't do the most, like, damage in the game, they are one of the only, like, punishes where you can kind of, like, you know, keep that chain going. Like, not many characters, you know, you say something like a raider, like his max punish, you know, maybe he throws him and then he does his, you know, light into zone. His chain's over right there and he can't really continue. But with Kensei, we can keep it going, which is really nice. And other than that, all I can really say is make sure you also use Nature's Wrath because it's probably one of the best moves in the entire game. And you can use it as a light parry. I mean, who cares about doing the exact light parry 40 damage punish? What? No. Who wants to do that? That's dumb. Do a Nature's Wrath. It looks cooler. It's a flip. Alright? Listen to me. Like I said, 69 reps. I don't lie. And encompassing all these things together, you guys might be wondering, you know, like, how Kensei, like, fits in on, like, a tier list or what's his strengths and whatnot. So Kensei is probably the weakest in all of the modes in 1v1s just because he's still pretty slow and can get countered relatively easily with that. Like you can make pretty good reads on his attacks because they, you know, like I said, they're not the fastest. You know, just getting 500 MS lights, you know, 500 MS is pretty much the norm. So finally been able to get that is pretty nice, but yeah, he doesn't do as well in 1v1s. 2v2s, he's like one of the best, if not the best character, because he has great target switching and really like wide range of attacks, so he's able to hit multiple opponents. Really good at switching and being able to dodge out from one person's attack and swap immediately to the other. And then in 4s, he's also pretty solid. Not quite as good as he is in 2s because, you know, he can kind of get overwhelmed by certain things, and, you know, obviously that's just how 4s is, but he is really good clear and everything, so he's still a pretty solid character in that. Just if you're looking to play duels, just know that Kensei's probably kind of on the weaker side, to be completely honest, but you can still get by with playing the Kensei and, you know, get some pretty solid mix-ups in. You know, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. You know, this was requested by a lot of people, and I had fun making it, honestly. So, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like I said, there's not really any, like, combos or anything I'm going on over this. Just kind of some basic strats that I like to do, and just some things to, you know, kind of get you off the ground with Kensei, you know, a way for you to, you know, open up players and, you know, different strats that I like to do, and just always make sure you're adapting. So, if you got any questions on the character, I've played them enough that I could probably answer them for you, so just, you know, leave that in the comments below. I would love to answer it, and if you enjoyed this, drop a like, you know, smash subscribe if you're new here. Would appreciate it. It's been your boy Tony. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.